February 12th, Saturday. I should have had this video made and uploaded like 4 hours ago, but here we are. Today's look is going to be like a little Valentine's Day kind of look, you know. But before we start, I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so a few things before we start. For most of the video, I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view. So if you don't like that, you can exit out of this video. And most of these story times are sent in by an anonymous person. Okay, did I just do my eyebrows off camera? Yes, I did. I know I've been able to do them on camera lately, but it's not gonna work, so let's get into it. Okay, story time about how my dad found out that I was a stripper. We love that for us, don't we? Wrong, we don't. So a little background information. I was a junior in college and I was 21 years old. And I go to a very expensive college. Actually, really expensive college. Not gonna lie, the only reason why I got to go to this college was because I got a scholarship. A very good scholarship. Now, being that I am going to such a good college, I feel like I have a lot to prove to everybody. Because I was always the straight A student and, you know, I was kind of held to very high standards because my brothers really never did anything with their lives, of course. So everything was put on to me. Well, with that being said, the little coffee shop job I had just was not cutting it anymore. Every time I would go out, I would find myself spending what felt like a ton of money, but in reality, $40 isn't a lot. I was just broke. But then I got what felt like the opportunity of a lifetime. We're gonna call this person my, quote, guardian angel, okay? Because this person saved me from a shit ton of debt and my future. So me and a couple of my friends were walking the one night to a local bar that we usually go to, and we run into this group of people. And that's where I met my, quote, guardian angel. Well, her and I really hit it off that night, and I pretty much told her about everything that was going on, including about how my life was really shit growing up. My parents were super strict, especially my dad. And then I told her that I was actually super broke and really had no money. She looked really surprised at first, as does everybody when I tell them this, because I carry myself a certain way. Like, this girl really thought that I was a trust fund baby or something. Sadly, I was not. And then she said to me, oh, well, can you dance? Now, I had took a few ballet classes when I was younger, so I'm like, yeah, I can freaking dance, you know, like, and she's like, no, I mean, do you know how to shake your ass? I was a little taken back, you know. I was like, I mean, yeah, like, I guess so. And then she's like, okay, well, you have a job. So at first, I am extremely skeptical. At first, I thought she was going to tell me that she's a prostitute and that I was going to be a prostitute also. But then she was telling me how she was a stripper. That kind of eased my, you know, how I was feeling a little bit. She also said that she makes more than enough money for all of her car payments, her rent, everything like that. And she was even able to take her and her boyfriend on a 2-month trip to Greece the year before. Girl. So at this point, I am way more interested than I was before. But I also had a strict ass dad, and I really had to think on this. Do I shake my ass for some money? And if I do, will my dad disown me? Probably, but yeah. But anyways, I decided to give it a shot and I started working at the strip club. But honestly, it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made. For the next 6 months, I was making literally bank from working at the strip club. Now, obviously, you know, I had bad nights and everything like that, but still, it couldn't compare to working at that shitty ass little coffee shop. And you know what? I actually eventually started to enjoy working there way more than I thought I would. Well, my 22nd birthday rolls around, and this is around when I thought my life was over pretty much. Yeah, we'll just say that. So this is whenever my strict ass family thought that they would come to my college and surprise me for my birthday. How sweet of them. I'm joking. It's actually fucking annoying. So it was my dad, my 2 brothers, and my mother, of course. So here's the issue. They came down a day early to surprise me, I guess. And boy, did I get a surprise. The hotel they were staying at was right across from the club. But you know what? Not too bad, you know. Not like my strict God-worshipping father was literally staying right across from where I worked. Well, the night before my birthday, I'm at the club. I'm about halfway done with my shift, in the middle of dancing all over a fucking pool, trying to make money. I have to fake an injury. Why do I have to fake an injury? Only because, you know, I look up and I see my father. Yeah, definitely not one of my best moments. So at this point, I literally want to run off the stage and just go curl up in a corner and die. But I think of a more realistic thing to do. Fake an injury. I start limping off the stage. Once I get off the stage, I tell Sadie that I need to go home. I'm not feeling my best. I really need to leave now. Well, you know, I thought she would be understanding, but she said, fine, after your walkthrough. Now, if you don't know what a walkthrough is whenever you pretty much go on the floor and you flirt with guys, you know, kind of just talk to them and stuff, just something like that. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm not a stripper, so forgive me if I say something wrong. Correct me down in the comments if you feel the need to. So at this point, I knew it was pretty much over. I really did need this job, so I wasn't about to just walk out. And I kid you not, once in the main room, it took them 20 seconds to realize that it was me walking around. And when they saw me, they just left. Like, they ran out of the place. They did not want to be there. And I was like, okay, like, what the fuck? I really thought I was in a dream because in reality, I thought my dad would have dragged me out of there and beat my ass and left me on the curb. But that's not what happened at all. So I'm kind of shook. Well, then the next day, I wake up to a knock on my door. And I definitely did not think it was my dad because I thought that he would never want to see me again. You know, his image of his perfect little angel was ruined. But of course, it was my whole family. They walked in, they gave me hugs, they wished me a happy birthday. Super sweet. The weird part was my dad and brothers were acting normal the whole entire time. Like, nothing ever happened. They didn't see anything, you know? They didn't walk in on me shaking some ass. So at that point, I was kind of thinking that I had a dream that it happened and it didn't really happen. I was starting to question myself. But also, I was kind of annoyed because my dad really hadn't said a word to me the whole entire time. So while we were sitting at my kitchen table, I decided to kind of make things more awkward because my mom had told me that they all got there last night. So I asked my dad, I was like, so what did you guys do last night? Yeah, I was that person. I was kind of annoyed because none of them would even look me in the eye. My mom answered the question for them. So eventually I waited until my mom left the room so that way I could approach the situation. But before I even said a word, my dad pulled out an envelope that had $2,500 in it. And he was like, here, this is for school and let's just forget about last night. He also ended up apologizing because he said that he didn't know how hard I was working to pay for school. But he was also really proud of me for trying to do it by myself. I was like, okay. Period. But then after that sweet moment, he was like, so, you're still planning on getting a job after school, right? Like, you know, you're not, this isn't a lifetime thing. And I was like, you know, so like, way to ruin a good moment, you know. But still, he was very accepting, so I have to be appreciative of that, you know. And on the other hand, my mother actually took it worse than he did. She was telling me about how all her other friends' daughters, you know, they work here instead of doing what I do, you know. She pretty much called me a whore every time she got the chance, so, you know, we love that for me. I mean, my dad would low-key put her in her place sometimes, but, like, it was ridiculous. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of me, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know when I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. Also, if you would like to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link down below in the description. Everybody, I know you guys are probably upset at me for not posting the past few weeks. If you don't follow my social media, I'm just getting right into things. I'm not gonna lie, it's 2 in the morning. I'm tired, I don't feel good. I literally am moving to Florida tomorrow. And my life, I am not even joking, guys, I have never had a more stressful week than I have, or it's been a while since I've had a stressful week like this. Like, I'm not even joking. Okay, let me just do the whole rundown. You know, if y'all want to skip to the video, go ahead. But right now, I just need a rant, and I need somebody to rant to, and as long as one person sees this, I'm okay with that. All right, let's get into this shit. I'm gonna cut this down to 2 minutes because right after this, I have to edit this video, and then I gotta pack my shit up, because girl. Anyways, okay, let's start. So At the beginning of the week, I was chewing a lot of gum, right? A lot of gum. And I have TMJ. For those of you who don't know, I've showed a video literally of me up to close to the camera. Like, you guys can hear my jaw popping. Terrible. Well, chewing gum and TMJ just don't go together. They really don't. I was chewing a lot of gum, and then I couldn't hear out of my one ear, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then this whole side of my face starts hurting really badly, right? Okay, we're there, right? By the way, I'm like super manic right now. I haven't stayed up this late in a fucking minute. Like, we haven't seen Manic Kaylee in a while. My ADHD is like fucking, I'm all over the place. Anyways, exactly. Okay, so you know, this whole side of my face is hurting, my ear is hurting, I can't hear. We think that my ear is stuffed up, so what do? Grab the light thing, you know, the camera to see in the ear. There's a lot of earwax in there, okay? Clean the earwax out, right? I know this sounds gross, I'm so sorry guys. We clean it out, right? We think we clean it out. We do not, okay? Turns out I have an ear infection. Not only that, my TMJ, I went to the emergency room. They were like, we can't even tell if you have an ear infection. Like, they're like, it's so compacted in there. I was always told, clean your ear with a Q-tip. And then I was told not to clean my ear with a Q-tip. So then I'm like, what the fuck do I use to clean my ears? Well, listen to this shit, right? My ear canals, I went to an ENT today. If you don't know what that is somebody who specifically cleans out your ears and does shit with your ears and crap, right? They went in to my ears and they were like, yeah, you were not allowed to clean your ears. They were like, your ear canals are so small that like you're just not allowed. They were like, you clean your ears with something, you're just gonna pack that shit in there. Okay, find out I have an ear infection. Great, right? I go to the dentist, and then he tells me we go to do a bite check, and I woke up yesterday not being able to bite down. Like, when I bite, these are the only teeth that are touching. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the only 6 teeth that touch when I smile. What's next? I look up online. Botox works really good for calming down the muscles, like relaxing the muscles, right? That's what Botox does. I get the Botox in today, and you know, it doesn't kick in for a little bit, so I still can't bite down all the way. Then I figure out if I want a permanent solution to my bite being fixed, I need to get Invisalign. So now I have to get Invisalign on top of my veneers, which just really, it was either braces or that. I'm not getting braces. I'll ruin all of my fucking veneers, and I'm not doing that shit. So, but yeah, so you know what? And I'm not taking this as a sign that this is a sign you shouldn't move to Florida or anything. I'm taking this as a sign that I neglected a lot of my health care that I didn't even know, like I didn't even know it needed taken care of, right? I neglected it, and now it is kicking me in the ass, like literally just like shoving the foot farther and farther up there. So yeah, that is why I have not posted. I apologize, but I'm here right now to give y'all a video. Literally, like, you know what, cut this, we're going to the video. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. So just my quick little usual rundown. For most of the story time, I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, please exit out of the video. And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Okay, so story time. I was the hometown hoe. So a little background information. I was 18 when all this shit went down, and I was a senior in high school. And by the way, we're just gonna start this off by saying I am not a bad person. I just had some issues. Okay. One of those issues was my inability to say no to attractive men, or just men in general. Like, the high school that I went to was filled with extremely attractive guys, or just guys with really good personalities. Not that I really gave a shit about that, but these guys just so happen to want to sleep with anything that walks or talks. Where the problem came in is that some of these guys had girlfriends or psycho exes that they wouldn't tell you about until after you did the nasty with them. Or in my case, they tell me and I just don't give a fuck. So I ignore it. and do what I want. With that being said, y'all can probably tell I did not stick to girl code and I did not have many female friends. Actually, I didn't have any. But listen, I just love the validation that I got from men, and I wouldn't hide it either, to be honest. I feel like I was never the boyfriend type of girl. I mean, my only relationship lasted about 3 months, and that was whenever I was in 8th grade. I was hitting puberty and finally getting attention from some boys. And my first boyfriend, I just happened to lose my virginity to. But just to give you an idea that I was not the boyfriend type of girl, I was cheating on him the whole 3 months. I'm not even gonna not gonna lie. Anyways, the girls that I went to school with, they knew my reputation. They were well aware of what I was capable of, so nobody would invite me anywhere, which, to be fair, was a smart move on their part, because I had no issues flirting with a guy that someone liked or somebody's boyfriend right in front of them. But at the same time, that meant that I was always left to hang out with the guys, which worked out in the end for me. Like, bitches thought that I was so pressed that they didn't want to be friends with me. No, bitch. I actually like the attention that I get from men, so stay mad. Besides, they would all get so jealous and so mad whenever I was hanging out with the guys, so it would low-key just backfire on them in the end. Eventually, it got to a point where I was being bullied by all the girls in school and being used by all the guys. Well, then the one day, I was partnered up with our school's running back on the football team, and he was extremely good looking, and him and his girlfriend just broke up, making the perfect time for me to just swoop in and get what I wanted from him, which was low-key just validation. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with me. Leave me alone. I know. So after a few days of us talking and texting, which turned into sexting, we figured out that there was a mutual physical attraction, to say the least. Well, before I knew it, he was picking me up before school. We would do the nasty in his car, and then he would drop me off about a minute away from the school because he didn't want to be seen with me like most of the other guys. Well, the one morning we were running a little bit late to school, and we decided since we were already late, we might as well just walk in together because nobody would see us. The only people who were outside were the kids on the track, and the only people really walking in the hallways were usually the teachers and the stoners looking for a way to sneak out during first period. Well, as soon as you walk in the front doors, there is a bathroom, specifically the girls' bathroom. And I kid you not, we are both walking in whenever his ex-girlfriend's best friend walks out the bathroom. How unlucky do you have to be? In my case, I guess not in his ex-girlfriend's case because they were low-key talking about getting back together. Whatevs. So she sees us, she starts speed walking back to her class, and CJ starts running after her, trying to talk to her, which, to be honest, it was pointless because she was ignoring him, so. But sooner rather than later, meaning right after school, I get a call from a random number, and I bet you all can guess who that is. Yup, it is CJ's ex-girlfriend. What a shock. Anyways, I answer the call, and she was very angry, which was low-key annoying because they were broken up. If anything, you should go after the man who told you that he wanted to get back together with you instead of going after me. But she was calling me a whore, a homewrecker, pretty much everything under the sun, which really didn't hurt my feelings because I've heard it all before from these jealous-ass, bitter-ass bitches. So the next day, I show up to school, and this bitch had one of her little minions throw a popcorn chicken bowl on me. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, they purposely sat at the table that was right next to mine. So at that point, I knew it was on and poppin'. So I came up with a plan to get her back. No, screwing one of her ex-boyfriends was not enough, so I screwed another one. And I was also still hooking up with CJ at the time. And clearly this man did not give a fuck about her and didn't want her back because he was still hitting it. But listen, this was not usual for me, okay? I would hook up with a guy for a week, and then I would get bored, and then I would want a different guy's attention. So I was literally doing all of this just to spite her. But this other ex-boyfriend, he was a little different. You want to know why? Well, I knew this would hit her soul because She was absolutely in love with this kid. They dated for a few years. They ended up breaking up because he cheated on her with a girl from summer camp. Sad story. Boo-hoo. And even though they broke up and she had been dating CJ, she would always post stuff on her private story about her first love. And then to top it off, this was literally just like the most random thing. I faked a college acceptance to the school that she was going to just to basically give her a little message. She will never be able to get rid of me.
What the fuck is it gonna take to get rid of this bitch? You can't get rid of me, bitch. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going no fucking where.
And I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back, because 2 days after this, I got wind that she was planning on beating my ass. And when I thought about it, I would be mad too. Not only did I fuck the guy that she was about to get back together with, but I also screwed her ex-boyfriend who she was madly in love with. And then, not to mention, everybody knew about it, so I publicly embarrassed her. So after hearing these rumors, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit ballsy. And I DM'd her on Instagram on some hot shit. I said something along the lines of, oh, how does it feel to know I fucked both your mans? And I might have also said something like, I'm gonna fuck your future just like I fucked your man. Oops. Now, to me, this didn't seem like a bad idea, right? Let me explain my reasoning behind it. In all honesty, to me, this seemed like a good idea, okay? Because, one, I knew the only time I would see this bitch was during school. Two, I had never gotten my ass beat for doing this type of shit. And three, as much as I want to hate on this bitch, she had a lot more to lose than I did, and I'm not gonna lie, I really was not worth her time. She was going to a good ass college, she had great grades, she was doing sports and shit, she was involved in a bunch of community work, so I continued to live my life as I should. So we both pretty much went on about our lives. We would see each other in the hallway and we would just ignore each other. So fast forward, it's a month later, and graduation is so close, bitch. I can taste that shit. And soon I won't have to worry about these basic ass bitches, and I will be on a new playing field in college. I guess that's where I fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. I thought since I was graduating, my ass was safe. Home base, made it. We're done. We are not done. Well, when I showed up to graduation, not only did I get my diploma, but I got a, quote, well-deserved ass beating. Let me back up a little bit. The girl who I was messing with a month ago, yeah, sis had some unfinished business with me. Like, she was out for blood. Mine, to be specific. So after I got my diploma, the plan was for my parents to leave right after, go to the restaurant where my family was waiting, and I was gonna stay after for a few minutes to take some pictures with some teachers. And my parents had just gave me my brand new car early for graduating, period. And I didn't see this girl the whole time, to be honest, so she hadn't even crossed my mind. Like, I thought, you know, I played my little trick and it was done and over with. I thought wrong, bitch. So I took my pictures, did what I needed to do. I'm ready to leave and never step foot on that ground or property again, when all of a sudden I make eye contact with the girl that I was fucking with and her two sisters. It was like a three-way between our eyes. We all saw each other. I saw all of them at the same time, and they were all just like looking at me. Whew. And the only thing I could think to do at that time was run. Well, I would say right as I'm about to start sprinting to the car, I trip over the fucking curb. Yep, I trip over the curb. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, karma's a bitch. And as soon as I hit that ground, they were all standing over me, kicking me, punching me, slapping me. And every few seconds they would stop. I was like, all right, let me get back up. Nope, they knocked my ass back down and started beating the hell out of me again. Not to mention, at one point I was grabbed by my hair and dragged what felt like 15 feet across the fucking parking lot. Oh, and did I mention that one of her sisters did MMA? Like, her fists were registered. I guess the worst part of it all was honestly when I was kicked in the face. I needed stitches. I had a broken nose, a busted lip, and I got blood in my eyes, which was not nice. The one girl that I had fucked with, we're just gonna call her that girl because I'm not even giving her a name. She didn't do anything. She literally like sat on the sidelines and was literally just watching while her sisters beat the fuck out of me. Like, I'm pretty sure she ran over at first whenever nobody was paying attention and like snuck in a little kick, but they were screaming at me. They were calling me the hometown hoe. They're like, you hometown hoe. I was like, girl, yeah, I got called out and I got my ass beat. It was fucking traumatizing to say the least. I definitely learned my lesson. I guess the lesson that I'm talking about I learned is don't write a check your ass can't cash. Meaning, if that's the right saying, don't talk shit if you can't back it up, because you could end up like me. So yeah, I hope you guys take a very valuable lesson from this story time. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know when I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. I usually post on Saturdays, but sometimes my schedule does get a little bit hectic. But if you want to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the link down below in the description.